Hi, everyone. GM. I'm kind of opposite time today. I'm from Boulder, Colorado, for anyone else who's from the States. My name is Anjali Young. I am the co-founder and CCO for Collab.Land. Well, Abridged is our corporation, and Collab.Land is our main product right now that's kind of captured the imagination of crypto communities. And have any of you heard of Collab.Land? Yeah. Yay, that's exciting. I was going to give a little brief introduction of what we are. Thank you so much. Of what we are and what we do. So if you have, some of you know it, amazing. Some of you don't, so I'll give you a little bit of a intro to what we do. We are a verification bot on Telegram and on Discord. So you buy an NFT, let's see, on OpenSea or Magic Eden. We even support Tezos. I don't know what the NFT marketplace there is anymore. Object, right? Yeah, Object. I know it was another one before, and then there was a there was a bit of an issue, and now it's Object. Anyway, so we support 13 different blockchains, over 20 different wallets. So you buy an NFT, you go to Discord, you find the community, and you'll probably verify login through Collab.Land. What we do is we verify initially your asset to see what role you get or access if it's a Telegram community. And then after that, we do background checks, and they happen different ways. If you're an EVM chain, then it's a blockchain listener. So if you transfer or sell your asset, then you lose your role. If you're a non-EVM chain, then we do a general background check that completes every 24 to 48 hours, depending on the number of people in the community or the complexity of the token-gated rule. So that's a little bit of what Collab.Land is. We started off as no-code tooling back in 2018. It was a long 3 years before we got any interest at all. Our first funding event happened in January of 2021, which was a small seed round, and that pretty much took us all the way until October, where we did a community raise through like an NFT public radio style fundraiser, where that's kind of where we are today with our funding. And we've been able to have a really small, high trust team, and I've just been really grateful to be with people who are sharing our same mission and our same values. So that's a little bit about me. And here we go. So today I'm going to talk about NFT communities then, which is when we started, now, to give you kind of a brief idea of where we are, and then again, which is more of a then what's coming, and what my personal thesis is for where I see NFT communities going. So back in spring of 2020, if you can imagine that time, ETH was between $80 and $100. COVID was shutting down everything. There was a lot of uncertainty about what was happening to us as human society. The ways we were depending on each other in terms of meeting, family, friends, we didn't have that anymore. And because of that, crypto was getting a renewed interest. So I don't know if this could have happened another way, a different way. But all of a sudden, crypto wasn't just a place where it was this kind of financial speculation situation, but there was a taste, a yearning to meet other people who had the same vision and mission for the future. It was more of a, here I have this guy looking out into this new world saying, what's out there? Who am I going to meet? And that's kind of where the beginning of what Collab.Land is today. That's where it started. We started a DAO called the Collab 19 DAO, and initially it was for to have people contribute funds into a DAO, and then to redistribute them to people who maybe lost their jobs, lost family members, were in this uncertain time financially. And so we had a DAO to this bot was initially just for that DAO. And what we saw is this exciting situation where now people not only wanted to be a wallet address and voting, but now it was they wanted to get together to hear about what these proposals were, talk to each other about where they wanted the other people that were also part of the DAO, how were they going to be voting, and to try to like influence people and change people's minds or maybe get them to vote in their direction. And one of the things I think about when I think about this early time where we initially started as just this DAO tool was recently I did this genetic testing for myself, like who am I, where did I come from? And so I did this 23andMe, we have that in the States. I don't know if we have it in Europe or not, maybe. And my people like started in Africa like 150,000 years ago. And they moved north and then they moved east. And it really got me thinking about this new world. And why is it that people need to come together? And the way I imagine it and is that the reason we all come together is for safety first, right? And so in this new world of crypto with these financial assets, it's like Collab.Land gave people an opportunity to have safety. You get together, you meet each other, you discuss what's happening, how it's going. Our first communities were not only DAOs, but they were investment clubs, which is like when you think about investing in crypto, at that time, back in 2020 spring, it was before DeFi summer. People were still trying to, who do you trust? And how do you navigate? And how do you learn about a new project? And how do you know if it's a scam or not a scam, right? Especially after the ICO stage of 2017. Well, now you could meet people, you could look at their wallet, you could see what they owned, you can see that they're maybe in the same projects that you are, and you could learn to like trust each other because you both and all your whole group had skin in the game. And one of the ways Collab.Land works is knowing that the people in that community, because of our verification and background checks, that you can trust that they have the same assets that you do. And so you can trust that they're not there just to troll, but that they're in it in the same way you're in it. And so it made me think about safety and how safety is just a fundamental reason for why people get together in a community, and how in this new world that we're forging together, that was kind of the reason Collab.Land was able to capture the imagination of everybody that was entering into this new world together, because now you had an opportunity to get together and have some semblance of safety, in that because you knew that they shared your same interest, that financial interest, that you can trust that they had the same intentions that you did. So yeah, my slides are kind of just a starting point. I'm not really focusing on them, but it gives you kind of a little bit of an idea of like what it is I'm trying to say, which is we're new people coming together, trying to find each other, and Collab.Land was there so that you could identify who people were, not only just by a number OX513, but that it was Nelson, and this was his profile picture, and he and I now can have some sort of connection where I can get to know him, based on transaction first, but moving into a trust relationship. So where are we now? You know, following along with my theory about safety first, about communities, now we're in a situation where we've moved into identity. So it's not only that I tell you that my people moved from Africa, north and east, now I can tell you that I'm Indian and I'm an American. You can hear the way I talk. And why is that important? Because that tells you a little bit about my history. That tells you a little bit about what I'm about. That maybe tells you a little bit about my culture. And in the same way, these NFT communities have become about identity. When you see my PFP right now, I change it all the time, and I'll talk a little bit about that too. But now, let's say my PFP right now is a creature, for Creature World. What does that tell you about me? Well, if you know a little bit about the community, then you know that it's art focused, that Danny Cole is the artist, that he has a long history of creating art, that he's playful, that he's ephemeral, that he is rooted in this like in this way that is wanting to be more appealing to everybody. The creatures are not female or male. They're not any race. You can identify them, that it's an approachable PFP, where you look at it and it doesn't make you feel much other than like simple, creative, interesting, approachable. It tells you a little bit about it. It's not exclusive. It's meant to be more worldly. You can identify it. Anybody could identify it, from a newborn baby to someone who can't see very well. And that kind of gives you a little bit of taste of what I'm about. And depending on the day, I change my NFT. Someday I'm a zombie. Someday I'm my world of women, or a sad girl, like Sad Girl sponsoring today. Someday I'm a sad girl. And that kind of gives you an identity about me rather than just what my genetic lottery has provided. And so that identity is a new way to present ourselves in this new world that we're in. And in that way, it's very liberating for us, because this is really the first time that we're able to explore this side of ourselves, instead of seeing our photo and saying, oh, that's an Asian woman or an African man or whoever. Now we can say, what is it that I'm feeling on the inside? What is it that's motivating me today? What is it that I'm feeling today? What is it that I'm inspired by today? And that's what kind of a PFP unlocks for us. So now we're about 34,000 crypto communities. We are it's over 3.5 million wallets verified. And now these communities have come together to build their own cultures. And just like humanity, how we move from safety to identity, in the same way, in this new world that we're creating, and I have this photo here of solar punk, because it is a unlock of what this can be, of what this world can be, where we're no longer limited by our nationalities, by our race. And it's a way for, in these communities, we're building more of a global movement. And why is it that we can do that now? Like, what is it about the world now that makes this possible? When I graduated from college in 1996, my first job was in internet search. And then in 1999 to 2000, everyone was saying, internet is dead. And I myself left the States and took a more traditional job in Europe, because I was like, oh, there's no more jobs. This is it. The internet is dead. And it is because of that time that I know that this is going to go. In the same way the internet seemed and feels inevitable now, we have now found a way to bring money into these internet communities. And we are a global movement of people working together now with these aligned financial incentives. And so just as inevitable as the internet was, crypto is equally inevitable. So that's what this is happening right now, which is we're all together, and whether or not there's a bear market or a bull market or NFTs are dead or crypto is dead or anything that you hear about that, in the same way, how is it that we as a global movement, global citizens now that have come together, we've tasted community, we've tasted the ability to be together online, and now we've given ourselves our own money to grow? Like, that concept alone, that unlock of that, it's unstoppable now. And so whatever this version of NFTs look like, whatever this version of crypto communities look like, it's as inevitable as the internet itself. Because when you have people coming together, when you have now with money having these incentives aligned, that's bringing us together on this fundamental level, like, it's as inevitable as the internet itself, as humanity itself. Now, where did I put my clicker? Oh, sorry. Can you tell I've never done this before? Okay. And now what? Where are we going? What are we doing? Not even thinking about the slides. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So what do I see as this concept of Collab.Land, which was bringing people together with the same financial asset, transaction first, right? That's all it was. Now we've moved into the situation where people are working together, innovating together, building relationships together, trusting each other in a way that is different from a family relationship, different from a friend relationship. You wouldn't think, society tells us that money isn't a foundation for building relationships. And yet I can tell you from the beginning of Collab.Land, from our first community, now to having 34,000 communities, what I've seen is that's absolutely untrue. The fact is that money is so fundamental to what we are. Being able to provide for ourselves, being able to provide for our families is so fundamental to what we are that these communities are just as strong, if not stronger, than relationships that are existing anywhere else. The way once you share a financial asset with someone, you're saying that your faith in something, your values are the same as mine. Money is a way we can signal what we are about. And in this world that we're in the world that we've all created together, that shows our belief. And so when you share that same belief with someone, that's a level of connection that just has not existed before. And now I can have that level of connection with someone who is from El Salvador, someone who's from Nigeria, someone who's from the Philippines. It's no longer about these same type of blockers that we've put, dividers that we've put between ourselves. Now we're in this fluid way where you can meet people with the same interests as you and share that motivation to be better, because that's really what's within us. Now, what is it that, and I'm not even looking at the time. Let's hope that this is a good amount of time. Okay, cool. And so what is it about what's happening next? Well, number one, like I said, we're on Discord and with Telegram. My vision of what this is going to be is that we're going to grow outward. There will not be one single platform that is going to be the NFT community platform. What we've already seen is that within communities, you have Notion documents, you have GitHub, you have people sharing videos, you have people sharing their different websites. And so the way Collab.Land is going to be moving forward in this new world is that we are going to be having a sustainable open source vision where we are going to be decentralizing Collab.Land. And then if any new platform wants to incorporate Collab.Land as part of their foundation, they will make a proposal to the DAO, and the owners will decide where it wants to go and whether it wants to accept that proposal. So even though, if you can imagine, Discord or Telegram is like the town hall of a community is not just one thing. And so it's going to have a church, it's going to have a movie theater, it's going to have a business park. And so Collab.Land as a technology is going to be available for your community to grow and for you to have different ways in order to interact with your token holders. And why is that important? Why is it important for this type of portable membership? Well, I think about the fact that I was on Facebook. I left Facebook in the spring of 2020, which is ironically when Collab.Land started. But I was on Facebook for 13 years. I shared petitions. I raised money for different projects. I have two teenagers. I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. I shared their first steps. They're both adopted. I shared that adoption journey. I influenced a lot of different people to explore adoption. I talk about the challenges of parenting children through adoption or not. I have a transracial family, so I've shared so much about what that experience has been for me. And I've had a lot of influence. I've maybe changed some minds. But once I left Facebook, where did that reputation go? Like, do I get to take it with me? Any other new platform I join, are they gonna know what I did on Facebook? Like, who am I? I have to start all over. And so part of the unlock of being able to take your reputation with you is there isn't, I don't believe that there should be a world where you're trapped, where Facebook gets to own my identity, because that's literally what it is right now. If I want those pictures back, I need to get on Facebook again. If I want those relationships back, if I want that reputation back, I need to go back on Facebook. I don't have a choice. And so the way we're imagining Collab.Land is that we can be a witness to your reputation. There's a whole other, you need to follow us, but there's a whole other conversation we can have about verifiable credentials and having a decentralized identity. But that's where we're moving, in that once we started off as being this, like a bouncer, a nightclub bouncer. And that was our initial function, where we let you into the nightclub and we're watching you to make sure you're participating in the community. And once you sell your asset, then you get kicked out of the community. That was the initial implementation of Collab.Land. But now we've become a data aggregator. And what does that mean to be a data aggregator? Well, the traditional ways data aggregators have monetized is by selling user data. That's just the way it's been. That's the Twitter model, that's the Facebook model. However, now I'm imagining that we all together as a community of new citizens of this new world are going to want to own our own data, that we want to be autonomous citizens just the way we own our bodies. And as we know, there's a movement toward not owning our own bodies. But let's see if we ourselves in crypto can take back that autonomy. And so with Collab.Land, we want to give sovereignty back to each individual. And so you yourself can decide, do I want to be monetized? Do I want to sell my data? Do I want to be advertised to? Well, that should be completely up to you. And so not only in this new world do we want token holders to be able to move seamlessly through platforms. You know, I think of it almost as like a repatriation of Web 2 platforms. Just like we're on Discord and Telegram, neither of which are crypto native, right? They're not crypto native. We've been participating in this old model where we're being advertised to for 20 years. But now, once you add that tokenized element to these traditional buildings of Web 2, we can repatriate that for ourselves. Now, maybe they're getting a little bit, right? They're getting a little bit money by able to monetize us being on there. However, the real value is we're using their buildings, we're using their infrastructure for our purposes. And so being able to move seamlessly from Web 2 different platforms is going to be an opportunity for community admins, for creators, for project owners to be able to take their owners, members, employees, bosses, all of that, we're all merging all together. It's not, once you buy an NFT, are you an owner? Are you an employee? Are you an advertiser? Are you a marketer? Are you the boss? You're all of those things. And so you'll be able to move seamlessly through from platform to platform. And that's kind of the new vision of what I'm hoping, that with Collab.Land, because we've been able to spark this imagination and get people together through art and technology, and it being an international movement, maybe we together can kind of move us in a direction of now owning our own digital selves, not only owning our bodies in the real world, which I don't even think there's a distinction anymore between online world and real world. We're all here because we met online, and now look, we're all sitting here together. It's definitely been a merging of the two. Now we want to take, if we have an opportunity with Collab.Land, to try to move in the direction of giving that ownership of ourselves, of our activities, back to ourselves, then we want to be a part of it. So that's kind of where we're going now, which is owning not only the asset, but owning our own activity, our own behavior, our own contributions online for ourselves, rather than having any platform being able to monetize off of us. Yeah, that's me. I'm good? Okay, are there any questions? I have a few. Yes, please.
So you guys are really important in the ecosystem of NFTs. the first scam on the first day when I entered the NFT space, it was a fake collab bot. So do you guys plan on maybe creating like some sort of inputs for the communities that are using Collab.Land bot? And do you even like talk with some guys from Discord? Like how to prevent the copies of your account? Because we all know like the hashtag is, your number is 6372, so we know this is like the proper bot. Yeah. But like how to help other people onboarding the communities, because these are the most common scams, like via Collab.Land bot and some similar stuff.
Yeah, okay, you can still hear me. Absolutely. You know, it's really funny because initially, until you reach a certain level of visibility, the hackers don't come. I'm sorry, the scammers don't come. You've got to pivot quickly. And so we moved within a month from the DMs. I don't know if you guys remember Collab.Land initially, it was DM. We moved to the no DM flow. And then we started a system where now, you know, there's included within, when you install the Collab.Land bot, there cannot be any other fake Collab.Land bots within that community. Now, so we probably block thousands every single day of people that join a community and then either enter using the Collab.Land name or they change their name to the Collab.Land name. We block them. So that's like thousands every single day. Now, how do we communicate to new people who are entering a fake Discord server and have a fake Collab.Land bot? And those people don't know anything about the Collab.Land flow, right? We've moved to the button system now. We don't do the DMs anymore. However, the fake Discord servers, like there's a fake Cool Cats or a fake Bored Ape, and they put bots in there with thousands and thousands of people. And people that are coming into the space, how do you identify that? And that is a big problem. Just like fake MetaMask, just like fake Wallet Connect, after you get to a certain level, I almost think of it as a house with termites. And so now we're constantly have to stay one step ahead of the scammers. Whatever new scam is coming out, we need to find it, squash it, and we depend a lot on the community to help each other as well. Because as Collab.Land, yes, we can keep our community safe. If you install the bot, you turn off your DMs, you know, we teach the admins to turn off their DMs. You should not be using DMs anymore, really at all. But how do we communicate to new people who have never used Collab.Land, who have only heard the name, or maybe even haven't heard the name? How do you? Just the way, how do you identify a scam NFT project? How do you identify a scam server? Like, it's gonna take communication, all of us, to kind of teach each other as well. And that's another reason why I'm a little bit, and I know the bear market is painful, I do, and I have a lot of empathy, believe me, I personally have a lot of empathy. However, that fire hose during the bull market, it's like you cannot even stop, people are not stopping to take a second to say, before I do anything, let me see if I can educate myself. It wasn't happening because it's too much like, I just need to get involved. I just need to do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And because of that, people are just clicking on everything. As far as we're concerned, we take it extremely seriously. I can tell you personally, because I'm a part of the support team, I read every single story, and I have to tell them that's not the real Collab.Land bot. That wasn't the real MetaMask. That wasn't the real Wallet Connect. And it is tremendously heartbreaking. But as far as like how we can keep our community safe, like we've done with the no DM flow and with our anti-scam system, but for people who are coming into the space that don't know anything about it, how do I protect them? I'm hoping people share with each other. I'm hoping people share stories with each other, and when anyone comes in and asks us, then of course we educate and we report. We have a security officer. We have 2 security officers. We have one person who does all the reporting and actually has a relationship with the FBI, and then we have another security officer who works on keeping our system safe. We're pretty fortified, you know. The one thing about any time new verification bot I can say is just be aware that new verification bots are not tried and tested yet. And I can say that because going from 100 communities to 1,000 communities to 10,000 communities and now over 35,000 communities, the level of intensity from scammers and hackers just continues to grow. And so we are constantly beefing ourselves up, beefing our security system up. And I feel confident about it because I know how seriously our team takes it. And we're a pretty small, trusted team. And that's why hiring new people is very difficult, because it's not only that they are, have to be know what we're doing and understand Web3, understand crypto, but it's like morally they have to be impenetrable, because at any time social engineering is a very big problem in our space, as you know. And we have to make sure that their vision and their mission is aligned with ours. And so it makes it difficult. And that's part of the reason why we're decentralizing, because we don't want to be the bottleneck anymore. There's so many people that want to integrate Collab.Land all the time. And because of our small team, it makes it difficult to accept every single request. And we've done a really good job of it in that, like I said, we support 13 different blockchains and over 20 different wallets. But it's like the need and the excitement has grown even more. But how do we do it? We take it very seriously, but really there's no way, when people are uneducated about crypto and are just excited and want to get into it, I don't know how to protect them. I think that's a problem that all of us are going to have, but maybe the bear market will give people a little bit of pause, and maybe this is going to be a time for education. I hope so. But at the very least, I can tell you that it's slowing down the fire hose, and it does make people take a little bit of time before they click, click, click. And so, but how do you educate people that don't know anything about it? I don't know. That's a really big question. And I don't have the answer.
FOMO is hard. Yeah, FOMO
it's hard.
Is hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I mean, for all of us in the room that have FOMO, like what's helped me is having a thesis. And so now when projects go up and down and I wasn't a believer in them, then I don't stress it. So yeah, that's just something to think about. Have a thesis. Like my thesis is like artists I believe in and women's projects. And so like that's where I focus. Good or bad, that's where I focus. So if you have a thesis, that helps. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. I don't have any time.
Yeah, we're a little over.
Okay, I'm so sorry. But find me afterwards.